Hey there, Internet. I'm screen actor Sam Lukowski, and you're watching Pretentious Opinions. Hey, Cellis.
Damn, what's up?
Hey, man. I haven't seen you for a while. How you been?
I've been pretty great, man. It has been quite some time.
Yeah, about 2 years, actually.
Yeah, a couple of years since we've seen each other.
But we worked together for 3, so.
We did. We did.
Now, look, before we go any further, let me do the really, horrible legal thing that no one wants to hear.
Yeah.
All right. Before we go any further, could you
Could you please confirm for the record that you are indeed over the age of 18,
You are a legal citizen of these United States,
and most importantly, you have sound body and mind,
and therefore give me informed consent to record and post this entire conversation for free on the internet?
Yes or no?
Yes, all of the above.
Well, thank you. Welcome to the show. It's a shit show, but it's my show.
It's a pleasure to be here, man.
I'm glad to have you, man. You're blowing up. I see people following you more and more every day.
Yeah, man. We've definitely been growing within the past, more so within the past year. But it's been great to see, watch a movement that you've kind of cultivated, not on my own, but with a group of other people. But it's basically my movement.
Absolutely.
To see it grow over the years. It's been really great.
Look, let's have you introduce yourself, just in case my audience members don't know who they're looking at right now. Why don't you tell them who you are?
All right, cool. Well, let's see. My name is Cellis. I am a local. I would consider myself still on the local platform. Hip hop artist, recording artist, rapper, self-proclaimed philanthropist in Baltimore, Maryland. I've been rapping, writing, making music pretty much my entire life. Probably since 6th grade. I started writing poetry. But really within the last 2 to 3 years, kind of taking the rap thing seriously, and really within the last year, it's kind of been taking off for us. The numbers have been growing, the music has been growing, we've been getting out there, the brand is expanding. You can find me at therealcellis.com and all social media platforms at therealcellis.
The Real Cellis.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Because I made the mistake of looking up Cellis and couldn't find you for about a week.
Now, see, I'm the real Cellis because there are other Cellises out there.
So find the real one, guys.
Yeah, you gotta find the real one.
Let's talk a little bit. You talked about being a philanthropist, about being an activist. Sorry,
right.
We had a conversation you weren't privy to, and you don't get to see it. So screw you. No, thank you for watching. Now, talk to me a little bit about being an activist. You have this thing right now called Verse Drop. You got 2 videos out. What are these 2 videos about?
So basically, there's kind of 2 concepts behind the video. The first concept is the verse aspect of it, and basically me just flexing my lyrical abilities on older instrumentals. There's not much to it other than me just wanting to be like, hey, I'm here and I can rap. Other than that, the video aspect of it, we decided to kind of base the video aspect on current social issues that Americans have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. So the first aspect we dealt with, Verse Drop episode 1, was the idea of police brutality and kind of addressing just a black man in a nice car being harassed by a cop essentially for no reason.
Secure the bag by the Malcolm X method. No assalamu alaikum, Michael Bacon for the pressure. I'm pressing with my impression, never resting for a second. If I'm ever coming second, guarantee I had erection.
Our last Verse Drop video that we dropped dealt with the gay community and kind of just trying our best to eliminate this stigma of being openly gay and being free to express yourself in, you know, whatever fashion that you find suitable.
Introducing the rap revolution, the solution to all of this pollution. I'm producing, baby, this the new jam. Nigga try to beat me, you could get the full band. And you can miss me with the gun talk. Know a couple hitters that'll drop you off in Dundalk.
Just showing public affection or just being openly gay. And I kind of want to like debunk that myth that a gay person doing whatever they want to do will affect your day, because at the end of the day, it won't at all.
Not
So,
even a little bit.
right.
I don't. Actually, you brought this up, so let's talk about it a little bit. You know, we can't
Right.
talk about the rap scene and talk about Baltimore City and not bring up the murder of Freddie Gray.
Right.
We got to talk about that, because you and I worked together on the water right when this happened.
Right.
When we were there when he got killed.
Uh,
We were there when there was marches.
right.
We were there when the curfew got put in place. We were there when the National Guard showed up. That was a scary day. And then, I mean, we were there when the marches unfortunately turned into rioting. I mean, you and I worked on the harbor for all of those days.
Right.
So, I mean, you want to talk about that at all, or is that kind of like a...
Absolutely. I mean, it was a pivotal case and a very current issue that we're dealing with in America. And it's a sad reality at the alarming numbers that brown people are getting killed by police every single day in this country. And, it kind of really came to a standstill in Baltimore. And it was one of those things where, these situations are very unfortunate when it happens. But, it kind of helps to bring the community together. I mean, of course, I would never wish for a Freddie Gray situation to happen again. But, I mean, obviously it is going to happen again. And it's going to continue to happen for a very, very long time. But it sheds light on a very pivotal issue in American society right now. And I think the biggest thing that we can do is bring these issues forward to people who are not paying attention to them. It causes people to look at it. It causes people to look at their surroundings and just take a second, take a step back and just question what's going on around them. Some people will choose to ignore it, but some people will choose to open their eyes. And I think a prime example of that is the Trump election. There were so many people almost blinded to the open racism and discrimination that plagues America every day. But when Trump was elected, it was like this firestorm of wokeness just kind of like erupted throughout our generation specifically. So I believe it was the same with that Freddie Gray case. I know that I was out until curfew every night, peacefully marching, peacefully protesting, and trying to raise awareness to the issue. And that was something that I wasn't previously. That wasn't something that I did before that. So, I mean, it even opened my heart a little bit, opened me up to activism and getting out there and promoting our culture more. So
I will say that your music matured after that, because you had, I don't know if it's just because you were younger. By the way, if you guys haven't noticed, he has a magnificent speaking voice. Very jealous of it. Besides the great beard, he just has a great. But his.
I didn't get the voice until the beard came all the way.
Is that what happened? Man,
Start growing now.
no, because when I listen to Rich Boy Poor Man, you sound younger,
Right,
and your music isn't angry yet.
right.
But when I listen to Snow Day, even though Snow Day, the song, the title track, is very happy, I feel and then there's a lot of singles I've heard on your SoundCloud. Check them out, guys. You definitely are angrier. I think you sound, there's tension in your voice, and your voice definitely matured. So I know that it affected you. I could hear it.
Absolutely. And it's something that you kind of something that happens with maturity. You get angry at the things that go around you, the things happening around you. When you're younger, when you're adolescent, when you're in your teens and even your early 20s, you kind of just have this, you're still naive to the world. You don't understand, the inner workings behind the world. You don't understand the system. You don't understand oppression. Until you deal with the things, until you see it firsthand, until you're in the marches, until you're watching things unfold on TV, until it's something that you personally have to deal with. And so it definitely has affected my music in a very positive way. The music can sometimes come off a little angrier or more emotional, but
Hey, nothing wrong with that, man.
Right.
Sometimes a message has to be angry to be heard. I get it.
Right.
Now look, I want to talk to you about Inner Child, okay? And first of all, if you guys haven't seen the music video to Inner Child, check it out. Because the cinematography alone is beautiful. I don't know who you got. I don't remember reading who it was.
Chris Bivens.
Dude, that's so good.
He's a local guy. He's really coming up now. He's a good dude. And also he didn't do the verse drop videos. That was Raza Rai of Unique and Uncontemporary Video, who's doing the verse drops for us. So check both of them out. They're both great guys.
Check them out. But besides having this beautiful cinematography, right? And then there's like this jazz track that you have going on the whole time, which when you put that with the cityscape, I mean, it's instant film noir. I was like, oh, this is so good. But I think I actually like the Snow Day recording more. And I'll tell you why. Not that anyone really cares what my opinion is, but I'll tell you why. In the track, you have, and I don't know if it's real or not, it doesn't matter. There's a recording at the end of the song of, I think it's your voice, of you helping someone who's stranded in the snow. Like you're helping push their car.
Definitely stuck. Yo, you need some help?
Yeah,
you look a little stuck.
Definitely stuck. Can you help me out?
Alright. Cool, look, on the count of 3, I'm gonna get behind and I'm gonna push, and you just press the gas. Let's try to get you out, alright? Ready?
Cool. Let's do it.
1, 2, 3, go!
Alright, cool.
You got out, man. You got out.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that help.
Yeah, man, not a problem at all, man. Yeah, man, you my neighbor. I had to do it. You have a safe snow day, alright?
Alright, man.
And I'm like, that to me was the main message of the whole song. This message of be a good person, be a decent person, be true, be real, do the right thing. Am I getting the right message? Because if I am, I definitely prefer the audio track. Just
That's 100% what that message was about. And kind of all of Snow Day, that entire project was about kind of just community and coming together.
oh, absolutely, especially with the last track.
Exactly. Yep.
Is that your poem?
Yeah. Well, so half of it is, and half of it is not. I kind of merged mine with something else that I had found online. But yeah, half of it is written.
It's brilliant. There's this there at the end of his. It's called hang on, I wrote it down. A Day with the Homies. And you got a lot of people featured on there. But at the very end, you have this poetry reading that's not a rap. It doesn't rhyme, and everything gets really real for a second. And what I got from it, and something I think you're right. I'd never considered this. The idea of being snowed in. It really does bring people together, whether they want to be or not. And I thought that was it was brilliant. I thought it was very well executed. So hats off to you, man.
Thank you. And especially a snow day, like you're being snowed in with an entire city. Like I think were you here during the snowstorm?
Yeah, I was there with you guys. Oh no! You mean the one that just happened in 2016?
Was it 2015 or 2016? 2016.
2016 I was not. I had moved out.
2016. So. Yeah, and when we got like 3 feet of snow,
yeah, you
literally,
guys were stuck.
The entire city was shut down. Like no one could get out, no one could come back in. And that snow day, the EP was kind of loosely based off that snow day or that snow week, really, that we had.
No, of course your kid loved it, but you're still being stuck with everybody. I like that. It was a good metaphor. I thought it was very, very good. We're stuck in this together, so let's
make it work.
Yeah, exactly. Let's make it work, man. Now, on your other album, the older one, Rich Boy Poor Man, you have a lot more R&B influence. Like I heard on Snow Day, there's classical music. I mean, there's jazz, but more traditional with hip hop. There's an R&B influence on the older album, and you have songs like Press Play, Maybe, and Take a Bullet. Everyone, please go check those out, by the way. Take a Bullet features your daughter. She was, can I say her name?
Yeah, of course.
Mackenzie.
My name is Mackenzie. I love my daddy.
How old is she?
Now she's 6. At the time, I believe she was 3 when we did that song.
So she's 3, and then she sings at the very end of it from Frozen, and then you do a song called Snow Day, and she's featured in that as well. Did you do that intentionally, have a motif like that?
I would like to say that I did. I guess maybe like subliminally what's going on in my brain and my inner workings, but I can't take full credit for the way that panned out. But it panned out. It worked.
Now, maybe is, and I'm not trying to blow smoke up your ass here, but maybe is very sad and very hard to listen to. And I mean this in a good way, so don't take it as like an insult. It's a pathetic song.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I mean you're waiting on the phone.
Right.
And I think I wouldn't have gotten that you were waiting for a response if you hadn't put the phone in there. But the automated voice, I love that. That was so good. And it just happened to be icing on the cake. The automated voice is a lady's voice. I was like, this is really good, man. What do I got here? You celebrate fatherhood a lot. And so do you think that needs to be celebrated more in pop culture? Is that maybe going to be a topic of verse drop at some point? Do you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that needs to be celebrated. There's a lot of great dads out there. And unfortunately, there's a lot of not so great dads out there. That's kind of just how the cookie crumbled. But, you know, I had a great upbringing. And not only do I, you know, bring in, like, fatherhood into my music, but I do talk about, like, my parents a lot in my music. I think I mentioned them maybe, like, 2 or 3 times on
your mother, your grandma. I mean, I heard them in the lyrics.
Exactly. And so, I mean, just family is something that's always been very, very, very important to me. You know, my family is the closest thing I had in my life. And then, so, you know, just to bring them into my music is something that I can do so effortlessly, you know. So it's something that has been a reoccurring theme and more than likely will continue to stay, you know, a reoccurring theme throughout my music going forward.
And I want to just stop real quick because you already brought up family. You have a lovely lady in your life, and she helps you with a lot.
Yep.
I think, I don't know, maybe it's just because, you know, I'm thinking of Jada Pinkett Smith in my mind. I'm thinking, must be a thing with Baltimore. If you can find a Baltimore lady, she will help you. So shout outs to Baltimore ladies. I don't know if you want me to drop her name either, but I was just saying.
Tatiana, man, she deserves all the credit that I can, you know, swing her way. She's a brilliant young lady. She does amazing photography. She's a fucking genius marketer. She does great marketing, promo, branding, you name it. Your branding is very impressive. And it's not just because the beard looks really good and it brands well. You just have, it's great. So whatever she's doing, hope she's getting a piece of the pie because it's nice work, man. It's really nice stuff. Let's see, I lost my place. Hang on. Let me just look at my script, guys. No problem.
Okay. My favorite song by you right now, hands down, is All Day.
Okay, nice.
Okay, because me, like, so our white dads out there, you guys have Working Class Hero by John Lennon, right? But people around the water in Baltimore City, if they don't know this yet, look it up. They have All Day, okay? And All Day, I mean, the message to me is so clear. It's stand up, do your work, no excuses, commit, grind. Am I reading the right message here? Like calling out like posers for being posers, am I right?
Absolutely, man. It's like I said, it's just get up off your ass and work, grind until you can't anymore. You know, there's no excuse right now not to be grinding. There's no excuse not to be busting your ass. You know, there's so many better things to do than just getting like drunk on the weekends or just wasting your time. You know, you got to take advantage of this finite amount of time that we get on Earth. And if you're not, you're just wasting your life at the end of the day.
Do you feel that new media has really given you a voice? Because that you have a career because of new media. So do you think that is the key? It brings a voice?
Social media?
Just new media, like everything.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, music today, the music business, the industry is completely different than it was 10, 15, 20 years ago. Even 5 years ago. It's crazy. You know, technology how it changes everything, especially so fast. But yeah, I mean, all of my platforms, my main platforms are through YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. So, I mean, this new media has definitely created the platform for me to be able to succeed. I mean, you know, obviously there's so many other aspects, whether it's doing shows or opening for artists or going on tour or traveling. There's so many other aspects behind the media And it's not just you could just put your stuff out there and then all of a sudden it's going to take off. I've never been a fan of that overnight success.
Sure.
Because even people that are seemingly overnight successes have been putting in work.
Yeah.
Like this is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Music, growing my brand, expanding is the hardest thing that you can ever do, because it's your own business at the end of the day, and nobody is going to care about it if you don't care about it.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that, man. It is there's a Greek legend, Sisyphus, about rolling a boulder up a hill for eternity, and every time you get it to the top, it rolls back down the other side.
Right.
And no one's going to help you roll that boulder. So
Right.
and I'm like, you epitomize that. Like, you are this working class guy that I love the message in your music. So,
Thank you.
and speaking of which, where do you record? Do you go to somebody? You want to give somebody a shout out, or do you do it?
Currently, I guess for the past 2 years, I've been recording at Lineup Room Studios. They're down on West Saratoga Street, and I've been recording with my boy. Shout out Fidel, Lino Beats. He's one of the best mix engineers in the city. We've been making some dope ass music for the past 2 years. So check them out, Lineup Room. The homie Brandon Lackey, he's the owner over there, and they're just good people over there, and they make good products.
I think I'll be quiet. Go ahead. That's your interview.
My job. So I work for a live sound company, and so we have this huge warehouse, and we got like pretty much anything, like mixing consoles, like beautiful like Neumann microphones, U87s, U89s, and so we just like set up this recording booth, and like under like, I don't even know what to call it. Basically, whatever is holding up all of our like speakers and stuff.
Sure.
We made a little like vocal booth under there. It's pretty cool. Like, we just started recording there last week, and it's really fun. Like, I'm lucky enough to be able to not only like do music, but have a job where I'm around music all day. And then on my lunch break, I could record music for an hour. Like, I'm a pretty lucky guy right now. I'm not going to lie.
Hey, nothing wrong with admitting luck, man.
Right.
Luck's part of it. Like, you got to have all the skills, and things just have to line up.
Right, absolutely.
So, yeah, I don't ever feel like saying, hey, I'm lucky is a bad thing. That's a good thing.
Right, absolutely.
And to go with the new media thing, that's the only thing I wanted to interject.
Yeah.
I knew a rapper. He recently passed away.
Okay.
And he was from Baltimore, and he passed away. He was very ill, and I don't want you guys to think he got shot or anything. It's not anything like that. And he said the way it works now is if you have something to say or something to do, it used to be when he was growing up, because he was older than me. He says you got the microphone, but someone had the PA system and they could shut you off.
Right.
He says, but now with new media, you have the PA and the microphone, so they can't turn you off.
Right. At the tip of your fingers, man, you could pretty much play every aspect. Whereas before, it took a brand manager. You had to have your own manager. You had to have a touring manager. You had to have someone doing media. Like, you don't need that now. And if you're smart enough, and if you're mentally equipped enough to handle, all of those positions, it can be done. And you see it happen every day. You see artists, like I said, that bust their ass. If you're not going to bust your ass doing this, don't do it. I think that's the biggest piece of advice that I could give to anyone. Because if you're not going to bust your ass like every single day, then it's not going to happen. I come home, I get off work usually. I get off work at 5. I work out in DC, so I got an hour drive. Usually get home between like 6 and 6:30, and then after that, at least for like 3 or 4 hours, I'm sending emails. I'm getting in contact with other media outlets. I'm writing music. I'm figuring out my next move every single day. I sit down at my table and I write down lists, or I study music. There's always something that you can do. There's never a reason where you should just, feel like you can afford to just not, push yourself more. So.
Somebody put him on television. Oh my God. No, man. All right. Look, all I want to know now, we'll wrap this up. I just want to know what's next for you. where can our viewers find your music, website, social media? I know you already plugged a little bit. Give us another plug. Let's wrap this around with a bow. Let's do it, man.
So there's more music. There's more videos coming. I personally wanted to get into directing and acting myself. That's something that's going to be happening.
Call me. We'll talk. It's fine.
Who knows what you'll ever see between us in the future. But like I said, we just got a lot. We're expanding. So we're kind of moving out of the Baltimore area now. And we're expanding to the cities around us. So, Washington, D.C., Virginia, Philly, like things like that. We're definitely pushing outwards more as opposed to like staying inward. And you're just going to be seeing a lot of stuff that we're doing. There's going to be a lot of content out, a lot of fun stuff, a lot of thought-provoking conversation starting things that we're doing. And hopefully it really takes off in the coming months or years, or maybe it doesn't. We'll see what happens. But we're all having fun. We're having a blast, and we're working hard at it. Like I said earlier, therealcellis.com. All social media is The Real Cellis. So YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, any social media, The Real Cellis, you can find me.
Well, Cellis, take care of your girls, both of them, and I'll see you when I see you, man. Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited we did this.
Absolutely, man. All right. A Day with the Homies, and you got a lot of people featured on there. But at the very end, you have this poetry reading that's not a rap. It doesn't rhyme.
You wake up on a winter morning and pull up the shade, and what lay there the evening before is no longer there. The graveyard, the dog shit, the tire tracks in the frozen mud, the broken lawn chair you forgot to take in last fall. All this disappeared overnight, and what you look out on now is not the snow of Narnia, but the snow of home, which is no less shimmering and white as it falls. The earth is covered with it, and it is falling still in a silence so deep that you can hear it. It is snow to be shoveled, to make driving even more worse than usual. Snow to be joked about and cursed at. But unless the child in you is entirely dead, it is snow, too, that can make the heart beat faster when it catches you by surprise that way, before your defenses are up. It is snow that can awaken memories of things more wonderful than anything you ever knew or dreamed. I love snow for the same reason I love Christmas. It brings people together while time stands still. Cozy couples lazily meander the streets, and children trudge sleds and chase snowballs. No one seems to be in a rush to experience anything other than the glory of the day with each other, whenever and however it happens.
Hey yo, I hear that, but whatever, nigga, we in this bitch vibing. What you talking about?
Let's take this shot, yo. I've been holding this for damn near like a minute.
Boy,
That was a
I'm in
beautiful
this bitch thinking too
poem.
hard.
Well,
Pressing the whole vibe, baby.
alright, let's make it short then. To a snow day.
Hey, to the snow day.
Already.